It's race update time. Gonna make a quick little video on the last race that we were in, which was September 13th. That was last Saturday. It's actually Monday now, so I'm a little bit ahead of the game for my normal time frame for making these videos. But I gotta hurry up and get this one knocked out because my car is all jacked up and I gotta pull the motor out of it and fix the trans. But I'll touch on that later. We had 15 Hornets show up, which divided us up into two heats. And heat number one was pretty good. Landon and Kevin raced pretty good for that one. Landon ended up winning that one. Alex and I were both in the second heat, along with Cordell and Chevy Gibson, and Cordell and Chevy raced real hard for that heat race. I mean, they were with each other that whole entire race, and right at the line, Cordell made a run, and I think Chevy beat him by like 0.053 of a second. Like, it was an incredibly tight margin. Really good race there. I ended up falling back to fifth because after lap one, I stuck it on the bottom side and tried to run the tires, and it was real sloppy down there. And my car got sideways, and Natalie got around me, and there was no chance I was going to get back around her again. The track was kind of a mid-track or a mid-line track because the high side was real soft. None of the cars were really running up there, and then the bottom was real wet. So if you didn't have that mid-line, you were struggling, and that's pretty much where I raced most of the night. Alex ended up finishing third, and I finished fifth in that heat. I'd been fighting a push in my car for most of this season, and I kind of make too big of an adjustment each time, and I hadn't been making any improvement on that push until the last like two races, and the car's a bit further than I wanted to take it. It's really loose now, and it was really loose in this last race. To be fair, the track was a bit wet. Normally, I like it kind of wet, but yeah, the car wasn't having it. It was getting sideways real bad. In that heat race, I got real sideways. In my qualifier, I got real sideways. I mean, I think I set the second fastest time in our group, but it was still a pretty crap time. It was like a 19.7. And yeah, I think I went completely 90 degrees sideways at one point in that. So between the heat and the feature, we tried to tighten up both of our cars with just stagger, and it made a great improvement on Alex's car. My car felt a little bit better too, but Alex said his car was way better than it's been just about all season. Kind of wish we would have tried some of these things earlier in the season. We would have probably been doing a little bit better. In the feature, Alex started sixth, and I started 10th. That had Alex outside third row, and I was outside fifth row. We had Chevy Gibson on the pole, and it's an automatic car, and you can always tell those automatic starts because they're real slow, which I don't usually mind because I can put my car in first gear, and I can usually make some pretty good moves with that. Unfortunately, could not get my car into second gear again. And this time, it's not because my shift fork was messed up, but I'll get to that in a little bit. It didn't look like Cordell got the start that he wanted. I don't know if he spun his tires or if his car had loaded up or what, because I think his car was having problems with that earlier. But Chevy took off, and he led lap one, and then Cordell got around him on the next lap and then led every single lap after that. He didn't completely run away with it. It was still pretty good racing up front because of the track conditions, but yeah, he did take the checkers on that one. Alex ended up finishing fourth, and I think I was like 12th or 13th. When we went green, and I started in first because we had that slow start, I tried to bank shift it in the second gear like I normally do, went into neutral, scrambled to get that thing in the second gear, and everyone came around me. Lexi came up on the side of my car, and I was proud that she actually was willing to put her car in the mix like that. Being a new driver like that, a lot of people hold back, but she was sending it. Finally got the car into second gear, caught back up, was racing pretty good. I turned a couple more laps, and I was racing hard against Josh Lanehart, trying to pass him on the bottom side. And we got into lap number 3, and I was below him going into turn 1, and just drove straight into his driver's side door. The video doesn't look very good. I didn't do it on purpose, but it knocked him out of shape, and he fell back. And we ended up staying green for another 2 corners, and when we got to the front stretch, the yellow flag came out. And Josh brought up a point. He should have gotten his spot back because we didn't complete another lap. He was ahead of me on that last lap. So I should actually have been back 2 spots after that, behind Preston and him. But when we went yellow, I realized that my clutch pedal was just swinging. It was like it wasn't even connected to anything. And I tried and pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped to try and get the pedal back. And it just wasn't happening. I knew my slave cylinder took a crap, and that was all she wrote. I struggled to get it back into any gear. I tried putting it in first, couldn't get it in the first. Finally got it in the second, and I'm like, well, I can just ride the rest of this race out like that. Not going to be making any power moves, so we went back green again. And as we were racing along, I think it was turn 4 I was coming off, and all of a sudden my RPM just shot up real high, and I went to put the clutch in, and all of a sudden the clutch was rock hard, and you couldn't push it. So it went from being non-existent to completely seized up. And I pretty much figured at that moment that the slave cylinder probably exploded in the trans, and it's partially holding the clutch disengaged. And I limped it into the infield, and that was the end of the night for me. Alex held on to his 4th place and finished there. It was a pretty good run. I know Preston was in the infield when I came in there. His car was all messed up. And then Aiden came sliding into the infield, said his car was messed up, which he was having problems with his car all night long. We gave him a bunch of parts trying to get it resolved, but I don't think it ever ended up running completely right. So that car is going to need some real attention here pretty soon. But that's pretty much nuked my entire season there. I mean, I wasn't doing fantastic, but that's 2 DNFs and 1 race that we've missed. So I'm pretty much way out of it now. I think I'm in like 6th in points, and I'm like way out there. Alex went from 2nd to 3rd in points now. Landon jumped past him, but he's only behind him by like 25 points. But Cordell is 35 points behind Alex. So anything can happen. I mean, honestly, if Chevy, Landon, Alex, and Cordell all show up and have a good run on the next race, I mean, anyone can win it. Chevy's got a better chance than any of us, obviously, but like I said, anything can happen. Now I got to end up pulling this drivetrain out of this car again, and I've been saying all season that this thing's got a rear main leak, and it's been leaking oil pretty bad out of the bottom of the trans there, and I'm thinking it may have been brake fluid from the clutch slave cylinder. But I really haven't been losing fluid, so I probably will be doing the rear main now. This fluid turned like, well, I'm colorblind, but whatever that color is, that was clear literally the morning of that race. So that slave cylinder tarnished that fluid. So it'll be coming apart. Put a slave cylinder in it. Hope that clutch survived, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. Probably do the rear main seal, throw that motor back together, back in the car. Hopefully she'll be good. We've only got one more points race left. It's not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. That's Night of Champions for us. And then I think we'll have the Greg Staub race, which is like a Friday race, and then Night of Destruction. So got a little bit more preparing to do. We'll get my car fixed up for at least this last race, and then maybe I'll try something with one of them other cars in the back. Don't really have any big plans for Alex's car. It's actually doing quite well. I have another motor in the back that I'd love to shove into it, but I don't think we're going to have the time to get any of that together. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I'm going to get my car running the way it's supposed to, get the trans fixed, get it back together. We get this last race together, or get to this last race and get through it. Then I can focus on getting one of the other cars in the back running that I may want to try during that Greg Staub race. So if anyone wants to try my car out during that race, feel free to message me, because I will have an extra car, hopefully by then. But time to put some wrenches to this car, get this thing fixed. And I'm sure I'll update everyone to what I find when I take it apart.
Another quick little update here. As you can see, I got the engine and trans ripped out of my car, and exactly as I had thought, the slave cylinder literally exploded into pieces. It is disgusting inside this transmission. So looks like I'm gonna rip that flywheel and clutch off of there, change that rear main seal, clean this thing up, throw another stupid slave cylinder in it, get it back together.
See you in the next video.